hedge a little bit of it on Nebraska this week. We also have Nebraska season win total under 6.5, and we hit that a long time ago. Thank God, because they've been winning ever since we hit that, and they could win again here. They could finish 5-7. So they got through the tough part of their schedule, and thank goodness they didn't catch fire against that Northwestern game. I'd be sweating this one out for sure. And Texas got them over 8.5 wins at plus 100, and they are 8-3 with Kansas left. Liking my chances there. And good old West Virginia over 7.5 wins. We are at, I think it's minus 105 for that. Yeah, minus 105. And they are well over that right now. West Virginia, I believe, has about 9 wins right now. And we'll see if they can get their 10th win if they beat Oklahoma. So we are looking fabulous when it comes to season win totals. I don't even think we lost one here. Well, we might lose the Baylor one here, but the South Carolina was canceled. Yeah, definitely had a fantastic year when it comes to season win totals. Let's move into our Big Ten power rankings really quickly. Michigan, they didn't do great against Indiana, but they took care of business enough at the end. They were looking ahead to Ohio State, won by over 10 points. I left them at 23. Ohio State, on the other hand, for giving up 300 rushing yards to one guy. I'm sorry, Ohio State. I had to downgrade you to 22 points. And so Michigan is the top team in the Big Ten, but they do have to go to Ohio State this week, as we all know, and I cannot wait to watch this game. Penn State, I left them at 17. They kind of won a vanilla game against Rutgers and didn't really mean a hell of a lot, and I don't think they covered, but Penn State should still be a 17. Iowa, I moved them from 13 to 13.5 for destroying Illinois. Iowa is better than their record. I don't know. It's unfortunate. This team is so good and lost that close game against Penn State, lost that close game against Purdue. They should have a better record right now. Lost that close game against Wisconsin. Just couldn't win the real close ones. Michigan State, I took them down a point, losing to Nebraska in their kind of game. A freezing, windy, snowy, cold game, and you're a running team with a great defense, and you couldn't stop the high-flying passing team? Are you kidding me? I took them down from 13.5 to 12.5. Wisconsin, I upgraded them a half point for taking care of business in overtime against Purdue. Jonathan Taylor caught like 300 some, ran like 300 some crazy yards, and that's why they won in triple overtime. Otherwise, if Hornibrook's playing, they're 3 or 4 points better than the power rating, right? So they're not at 12.5 with Hornibrook. Without Hornibrook, they're more like a 10. And with Hornibrook, they're more like a 12.5, 13. Northwestern, I upgraded them from an 8.5 to a 10. I was way low on this team, but at the same time, they hit the spread against Notre Dame, and they just get by with great coaching. It's just the players try for this team. I like Northwestern. They definitely prove that they deserved to be representing the Big Ten West, unfortunately, to my Badgers. Purdue, I took them down from 9.5 down to 9 for blowing that game against Wisconsin with Wisconsin's backup quarterback. Nebraska, I took them up from 7.5 to 8.5. Now, ESPN and team rankings is still real low on them. They have them at a 2.4 and a 1.8. You can see that on the website, the Odds Breakers, because I have my power rankings, ESPN's FPI, and team rankings all lined up. saying I have an average, so you can average them. I average them all together for you too, so you can kind of get just everything, kind of like a consensus power rating. Let's just call it. Maryland, 6.5-7, almost beat Ohio State, and their second string quarterback is better than Kasim Hill. Pigrom is better than Kasim Hill. Minnesota took them down from 5 to 4.5. They're actually, ESPN only has them at 1.3 and team rankings 0.7. Wisconsin, they're going to Wisconsin to play that final game for the Axe. Indiana, 4.5. And ESPN has them at 2.1 and team rankings at 1.8. And then you get to the bottom of the barrel, Illinois -8 and Rutgers -12. Doesn't matter. They're done. I don't know if Lovey's going to have his job after this year. Let's move into the big spots this week. And wow, do you have the big games, right? You have the Michigan versus Ohio State. You got the Iron Bowl. Auburn versus Alabama. You got the Egg Bowl. You got Ole Miss with Mississippi State. You got the Apple Cup. You got Washington versus Wazoo. High-flying Wazoo. I can't wait to see that game. Just some big games this week. Some big rivalries, and I can't wait to see this. And this is why we hit a lot of those look-ahead spots last week and did pretty well. So what I want to quick hit is the letdown spots first. Of course, Florida State hosting Florida is kind of a letdown spot. It's also a rivalry, and they're fighting for a bowl game. But Florida State got that win against Boston College. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Not a lot of upsets, so not a lot of letdown spots. But Oklahoma State, beat West Virginia, and they have a letdown spot at TCU. Too bad TCU doesn't have a quarterback. Fresno State beat San Diego State, and they're hosting San Jose State before their Mountain West championship. So that's a flat middle spot for them. San Jose State's the only side there. Ohio versus Akron is maybe a letdown spot. Ohio, beat Buffalo pretty bad, but still not enough unless Buffalo loses to Bowling Green to go to the MAC championship. But Ohio's fighting for a good bowl game too, so I'm not sure if I want to touch that one. Let's get into get-up spots, and this is why I love this week. Any 5-win team is fighting for bowl eligibility, and I will pretty much cover the teams here, the 5-win teams. So that's pretty much your get-up spots. TCU hosting Oklahoma State, fighting for a bowl game. We'll see if their quarterback comes back. I don't think he is. I think they're on their third-string quarterback. Ole Miss hosting Mississippi State. They're looking for a bowl game, and they need to prove it in the Egg Bowl, but not sure if that's going to work. We'll see. Miami of Ohio hosting Ball State is a for sure get-up spot. Miami of Ohio fighting for a bowl. Minnesota going to Wisconsin is looking for a bowl game. Coastal Carolina at Southern Alabama. I like that one. Florida State, 5 wins, of course, hosting Florida. We talked about that. Both Baylor and Texas Tech facing each other at, I think it's at neutral site. They will be duking it out to see who's going to make the bowl game, the 6th win. Tulane hosting Navy. Tulane is this is a battle of the options pretty much. Tulane's pretty much an option team as well as Navy, and Tulane's fighting for a bowl game. Navy is out. Wake Forest at Duke. Now this also might be a get-up spot for Duke after that Clemson game, so I'm not super excited to be betting on Wake Forest this week. Both Purdue and Indiana at 5 wins, like I mentioned before, facing each other. Go Purdue, so I can tie my season win total. Now, I can't believe that Purdue plays this good and only has 5 wins. Pretty shocking to me, but I think Purdue should take care of business here. Wyoming at New Mexico. So Wyoming beat Air Force last week. Now they have a shot to go to a bowl game at New Mexico. Well, first game of the year, we saw Wyoming go to New Mexico State and do really well. Southern Miss at UTEP. They're fighting for a bowl game. Maryland at Penn State. Fighting for a bowl game is huge for Maryland. Penn State's already got one. They're in. What do they have to play for? Arizona hosting Arizona State is huge, but I'm done betting on Sumlin.
Idiot.
SMU at Tulsa. What a terrible game. SMU is so turnover prone. You just don't know what the hell is going to happen with them. Shouldn't have bet them last week. Tennessee at Vandy. Both teams at 5 wins here. Big SEC challenge. Both teams are about as good as each other, too. You know, they really are. Vandy got a lucky break last week against Ole Miss. They took a touchdown away from them because the ground rule didn't control it to the ground. Well, he did control it to the ground. He even tucked it on the ground. Then he kind of put his arm out afterwards. Yeah, they blew that one. Florida Atlantic hosting Charlotte. And, oh, by the way, that Tennessee Vandy game, yeah, that touchdown screwed me on the over. I guess I'm bitter. Florida Atlantic looking for a bowl game hosting Charlotte, but God, do they really want it? I mean, what a letdown they had this year. Kansas State at Iowa State is huge. Okay. Kansas State fighting. I think it's the last year for Bill Schneider. Well, the speculation anyways, he's going to step down for having another tough year, but these players always play tough for Bill, and this game's huge for Kansas State. Colorado at Cal is one, and Colorado just got their coach fired. I usually like to bet on teams that got their coach fired, but I don't like the 11.5 at Cal. I mean, Cal is they're just a lot better than they were, but you know, I might be a personal play for me. USC hosting Notre Dame, but both teams need this one, right? USC wants to make a bowl, or do they? They should, you know, but I think their coach is going to be on the hot seat as well. Terrible job over there. And Notre Dame, they need this win, and I think they're going to get it. I think they're just going to show everybody once again that they're the team. No letdown spots for them. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the 5 gamers and the 5-win teams. Let's move into some look-ahead spots here. These are kind of key, too. Fresno State looking past San Jose State to the Mountain West Championship. Like I said, there was a sandwich spot, so San Jose State or nothing. Buffalo looking past Bowling Green. Well, if they lose, they're not in it, so they better take care of business. Northern Illinois looking past Western Michigan to the MAC Championships. Very possible here. Arkansas State looking past Texas State to the Sun Belt Championship. Northwestern looking past Illinois to the Big Ten Championship. Well, Northwestern proved that they don't like to let down, so I don't know if they'll look ahead either. It's just kind of a rivalry game for them. Pitt looking past Miami to the ACC Championship. And you also have Miami fighting for bowl berth here, right? And I think that might be one I missed here. Well, Miami's got 6 wins, actually, so they're good. But Pitt could be looking ahead here for sure, although, you know, they're pretty well coached. Clemson looking past South Carolina to the ACC Championship. Well, we thought that last year too, right? Not so excited to look into that. UAB looking past Middle Tennessee State to the Conference USA Championship is very possible, though. UAB lost to Texas A&M by 20 last week, and